And we are back to another episode of What's in the Box, episode number 8. And today you have myself, my homie Enrique, and my dude Kevin. But special guest, we got CarlosCurley in the his house.
What's up?
Straight into it, bro. A little intro. What is it that CarlosCurley does?
CarlosCurley. I'm a dancer, choreographer. I direct Illusionists and Animazing. I've been dancing for about 13 years now. I train and I perform professionally. And I've just been working teams out here in the Valley for about going on 9 years now. So yeah.
And how long would you say your dance career was before you started the teams?
Well, I was just in the freestyle scene, majority. So I was freestyling for about 4 years before I got into choreography, and maybe still about a year or so before I even came out here. So 4.5 to 5 years before I started doing anything here in the Valley, really.
Gotcha. And then from the whole freestyling scene, was that hard to get into?
I wouldn't say it's hard to get into, but it's really hard to be accepted or respected. You really have to earn everything. Mm-hmm. You got to earn your stripes, It's a lot different because people give really easy props in the choreography scene, but you can think you're super dope and you can hop into a cypher at a jam and you'll think you'll be killing it and everyone will just be looking at you like you're the wackest person ever.
Yeah.
So I had to be killed off for a good 3 years before anyone was even oh, you're okay. You're kind of okay. You're good. I think the first compliment I got was actually you have a dope skeleton, but just your rest of your dance sucks. But the skeleton is cool, but the rest of it sucks.
What's a skeleton?
The bare minimum, your foundation. Okay. You know what you want to do, but you're just not doing it pretty much.
Yeah,
you're not being able
the foundation,
to
kind of.
Gotcha.
Yeah, pretty much.
Did this all start in the Bay?
Yeah. So I started dancing in the Bay around middle school. So the scene up there is really diverse, I guess. So they dance a lot different than here in SoCal, for sure. But it's really specific scenes with the turfing and the popping and the breakers. But started up there more in the popping scene, and the poppers up there are really heavy hitting OGs. So it was really, really hard to get any type of respect. But they were always willing to teach if you're down. You're just gonna ask. It's kind of if you're gonna stay silent about it, you're just gonna suck forever. So you had to be ballsy enough to go and ask someone.
So would you say that I guess ballsiness would come in going up to them and being hey, how you do that? How you do that?
Yeah, pretty much. Or even just having the guts to just do a round in front of them and hope they're gonna analyze you afterwards and give you some advice. A lot of them will give advice without you even asking them. They'll see you and they'll be okay, that was cool, but try doing this, and they won't unpack everything they see at once, but they'll be okay, try this, and they're gonna see if you're willing to listen to what they just told you. Gotcha. And if you are, then they'll be okay, well, not what about this? And so they keep giving you small advice over time, but they're not just gonna be okay, fix this, and this, because they want to see your willingness to work and where you can go with your movement and how much you really care about even improving, or if you're just there to showboat.
Gotcha. Yeah, because a lot of these freestyles, at least the ones I've been a part of, if you've been here in the Valley, the Coachella Valley, they've always been very laid back. No one's really there to teach you. Mm-hmm. You kind of if you want to jump in, you jump in, and you give your little waves here, one of these over here, and then if for example, Carlos was one of them. He'd be do this. He'd be try this, and then you do it. So I can picture that, but here you're just more comfortable.
Yeah.
Over there, starting as a newbie, getting into everything Where did that confidence come from? Was that just there? Was that just you going up to people and just
I think it had to do with well, first off, I think the Bay Area persona or NorCal persona in general, because you got Sacramento and everything up there. So NorCal in general, we're very confident within ourselves. We don't really care about looking stupid. And I already I was playing sports at a high level, and I was always really cocky with my sports. So I was kind of dance, but how hard can it be? It is what it is. I can do this little wave. I get how hard is it? So it wasn't so much that I was even thinking I was confident. It was more I think I'm dope. So who's gonna tell me I'm not?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Damn.
What was the biggest lesson you learned from sports that transferred over to dancing? Was it that confidence, or was it something else?
I think the biggest takeaway was the confidence, I guess. But the biggest lesson from sports, is consistency, because like you can work like mad hard for like, let's say 6 months straight in dance and you can get super, super dope. But if you take like 3 weeks off, you're immediately going to like just fall back. And it's kind of how you see in sports, you have these teams in like the NBA, you can say they're like the dominant teams and they'll be good. But slowly other teams are creeping up because maybe they're working harder or they got fresher guys or, they have a different mentality. And these teams who are winning so much got a bit cocky, so they fall off. So it's like the consistency and the work ethic is what sports kind of taught me, or basketball specifically just kind of taught me to just never think that someone can't surpass you.
Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah. So would you say that same consistency would, I guess, translate in like a rookie? You would tell the rookie the same thing. Like, let's say, how long would you say it would take a rookie to get to like a pro level status
in dance?
In dance. Like if it's on that same be consistent on your shit.
Yeah, I think it kind of like depends though, because there are certain people who I feel are just naturally gifted to pick things up quick in dance. Like I've seen people just become dope in the span of like a year, and I'm like, they're already like 10 times better than anybody else I know. But there's people who I've seen slowly progress over like 5-6 years, and now they're at the same level as that person who trained for a year. Gotcha. So it all comes down to the person. I think that there's like there's 3 groups of people in dance. There's like the ones who are just there to ride the wave and the trend, and they get really lazy. But then like within the work aspect of it, there's the ones who are just naturally talented and they get good very quick, and they're the ones that struggle a bit more and they have to work a lot harder. Jay, my mentor, always told me that I was a natural dancer, which is why it got me lazy, because I would like work hella hard, get my spots, and then be like, I got a spot, I'm chilling. And then
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I felt that same shit in football.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, bro.
See, backstory of this, Enrique, in my opinion, like this man would have gone D1 straight one, like D1.
I don't know about that.
No, like the thing is, he's very agile. It was like seeing Gambit for fucking Marvel, like shoot a fucking card like that. It was seeing the exact same thing, like motherfucker, like and fucking break fucking necks, bro. It'd be like, oh shit, and the only thing that I think kind of like really fucked him up was the ankle. He really fucked up his ankle.
But back to what you were saying.
my bad. Yeah, no, like that. Like he used to be D1. It
was that mentality. I felt like I was like, I didn't have to work as hard because it came a little bit more natural. So yeah, I did get a little lazy. But as a teacher, would you rather have someone who took them like a year or 2 to progress and become the dancer they are, or would you rather have that talented, natural born dancer? If you could choose one, just one.
I'll always take the one who wants to work the hardest, especially like within IL specifically. Like I take 90% of the people who come on the team, they're just like not ready for stage at all. Like they maybe have like a week or 2 of dance training, if that. Very few are like already good dancers. But like they're the ones who are just like, okay, they're open-minded, they're ready to learn, and they're gonna give it their all. They may not know what their all is yet, but they're just gonna give 150%. So I'd rather have someone who's gonna work super hard, because I've had the dancer who gets good really quick. And the thing like with that is, especially here in the Valley, people tend to think that opportunities are so distant living here that when they get to that level, they feel they need, or they can no longer be here, or like there's nothing else you can offer them, because they get so far into their heads. So they tend to stop their training and dip out to go find whatever else they can somewhere else, So not that it's bad, everyone should try to pursue their career as much as possible and improve as much as possible. But I don't think anyone should, default away from training that you can always learn wherever you're at, because anyone can teach you anything at any time, I feel.
Right. So what would you say are some of like the essential things that you need to do to get to that spot? Like any like things in particular? To
get to like a high level in the dance. Foundations are key, I guess. Not even like a specific style, like I don't think everyone needs to go and train in breaking, but at least know the feeling of their top rocks and the up rocks, know like the dance behind what it is, and the grooves behind popping. So foundations is key. If they're willing to learn the foundation at a really like high level, they're gonna go far. And then open-mindedness. A lot of people will tend to be good at one thing and they don't want to go into anything else. So they can go to an audition and that's their style specifically, and they'll kill the audition. But if they get to like a final round and the judges are like, okay, freestyle, and they can't do anything other than that one style of choreography they're trained in, they're going to freeze and they may not get booked. So I think open-mindedness and willingness to just expand in every aspect of dance. And then a certain level-headedness, I guess, but I think every dancer also needs a bit of cockiness. I always said there's bad cockiness and good cockiness. I think a bad cocky is when you get really good and you know you're good, but you're going to talk to everybody else like they're beneath you.
Right.
I have a reputation of being super cocky. I'll talk crap to anybody. I call people out right and left. I hop on the mics and I talk crap, But I've never let anyone who comes and approaches me and asks me for advice feel like I'm better than them. I talk to them as an equal, and I try to get as much from them as I can give them at the same time. Right. So I think, having a level-headedness within their confidence is definitely key. And just consistency with their work ethic. I think you don't need to take a million classes. Even I actually think the people who take 5 classes a day in LA every day, for however many years is a bit extra. Because if you think you're really gonna learn that much, dressing in your freaking $1,000 sweatsuits or whatever into class, right, and switching it between class every single time, you're just suddenly gonna get better as if your clothes are some super power up to your dance. It's unnecessary. You're not gonna get any better. Most of the people that I've learned from never took a class ever at any studio, and the ones that have taken class, they maybe take 1 or 2 a week total, just because there's so much more in just training on your own than just taking class. So consistency in your own training, but not so much in thinking you need to constantly be in class, because you're also wasting money doing that. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, classes are expensive.
Yeah.
We had a fundraise to get our whole retreat there.
Yeah.
Seriously?
And that was what, 400 or something?
Total? No, I think it was $650 or something, just for a day of classes for the whole team. Yeah, and that was at the discounted price.
What was the whole price?
Well, it's because when you take class at these studios, they usually offer a full day price. Okay. So classes are usually $12 drop in. So if you're thinking about taking 3 classes that day, you're $36 for the day. But usually it'll be $20 or $25 for the whole day, and that's just the flat rate. So we paid $25 per person for that whole day, and there was 4 classes that day. I think 4 classes. So we saved over $20 per person, which is cool. Studios try to give you a discount as much as they can, but while also trying to break your pockets and whatnot. Yeah. But it is what it is. It's all part of the game. They got to make money somehow.
Yeah.
That's in LA?
This was in Whittier, I think.
Oh shit.
Whittier.
Pretty close to LA.
Whittier, basically.
Yeah. So LA.
Almost.
That way is LA anyways, so it is what it is.
Yeah, the cities over there are hella fucking together. There's no fucking entering this.
There's a bunch of cholos too. The fucking long ass shorts, just a solid tee, shaved head, and everybody looks the same. It trips you out sometimes. And you're damn,
everybody's just cholos.
Yeah, everybody's just a cholo out there. What's your favorite city to dance in?
Oh, my favorite city to dance in. Oakland.
Oakland? Alright.
No, yeah, Oakland for sure.
I'm surprised you didn't say the Bay.
Oakland's in the Bay.
In the Bay, bro.
Yeah.
In the Bay, dog.
I like dancing up there. I guess the Bay in general, though, I like dancing in. Because a lot of the scene out there specifically, you have your OGs and whatnot, but the jams and whatnot are run by, our age group, I guess. So there's not a whole lot of judgmentalness going in and whatnot. They don't make you feel like you got to dance specifically like them to be dope. It's a whole lot of good energy, and there's always real hype moments, as opposed to, I feel like when I go to jams in LA, everyone's out there just trying to make you feel like you suck. They don't want to hype you up, or they're all really specific to their city. I went to a jam in San Diego. It was last year, I think. I forget what it was called, some culture or whatever, but there was these 2 dancers from San Diego, and they were okay. It was this guy and his girl, but they weren't great. And they were clearly getting killed off by these other 2 dancers. And the good ones were from LA, these ones were from San Diego. And all of San Diego was just oh, go off, kill it, blah, 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 over the dumbest stuff. And they ended up winning the whole jam, and it just wasn't what it was.
We're back, and I'm sorry, but that should look at me. That should look at me.
Android game.
That should look at me pissed. Not gonna lie. iPhone, you fucking up, dog. How am I gonna have 400 pictures and my shit gonna go?
Bro.
How you gonna look like a stove?
Oh.
What?
I feel that.
Alright. Well, shit. Anyways, back to dancing in the Bay. The Bay. The personality behind it. What's up with that?
It's way better energy up there than it is in SoCal. But that's across the board. I feel I mean, nothing against SoCal people, but just NorCal people are just so much better energy. Like they vibe better. You know, they're way more accepting. They'll talk to you. They're way more open. LA people are bougie.
You guys ever heard LA people talk shit about the Bay?
All the time.
What type of shit do they be
Because
saying?
LA's mad because they be taking everything from the Bay and then get mad when they get called out on it. Like even the sound, like you hear like Problem and DJ Mustard, like all their music is just knockoff Bay Area slaps, like
E40 type shit.
Right? Yeah, like they don't want to sound. Even like the stuff that Tyga be popping on nowadays. Like,
I was watching a video and it was like these guys like trolling fans at an NBA game.
Oh, yeah.
And like what really got this dude was they were in the Bay and he said E40 sucks. He was disrespecting this man to the fullest, and until he said E40 sucks, that fool wanted to fight him. He flipped out.
Nah, isn't E40 like the godfather of
I mean, he's up there. You know, like he's a pioneer for sure. There's tons of people you just don't disrespect in the Bay, like E40 for sure. Like I don't think anyone can really say that E40 is trash. Everyone knows like he got bangers for days. Like,
still to this day, like
man,
features and
you
shit.
play that shit to this day at a party, house party. That shit banging. For real.
I really fuck with Pilo. Like,
oh yeah, Pilo's tight. His
I haven't heard of
his stuff
Pilo.
slaps right now. Like,
Bro, Pilo nice.
Straight bangers.
Yeah.
From the Bay?
Yeah, he's from the
Bay.
Bay.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna have to check it out for
He's
sure.
like, I saw a tweet and it was like, oh, Pilo's like Mac Dre's little bro or some shit.
Pretty much.
They were saying some shit like that, like basically he's up there.
Yeah.
E40 walked so Pilo could run.
Hey, no, dead ass. That's what they be saying nowadays. Whenever somebody comes up like hella quicker or something like that, like, oh, well, this person fucking did it. Or it's like, you know, it's always paying respects to who fucking did it before you. But still, like, damn. In LA, would you say you're more beefier when it comes to dancing than when you are in the Bay? Or would you say because you're on your home turf, it's kind of just like, I gotta go off?
Well, I guess it depends, you know. If we're talking freestyle, I'm beefy, like, regardless of what city I'm battling in. But I think the difference is in the energy outside of the actual battle, you know. Like, I don't really care to talk to people in LA because they all seem like, you know, assholes. You know, but in the Bay, like, I'll battle and I'll be, like, hella beefy. And then I'll be, like, kicking it with the homies right after, like, just chilling. We're talking about choreography. I mean, I'm super, like, competitive no matter where. Like, I don't like talking to nobody who's on any other teams at comps. But it's harder in the Bay, at least, because, like, I danced on teams in the Bay. So when I go with my teams, and I'm also a director of the teams, and we walk in, they're all kind of looking like, look at this traitor. Like, he gonna move to SoCal and then bring his SoCal peeps up here, and he think we just gonna rock with him like that. So it's like, we gotta be dope for them to be like, okay. And that's usually what happens, you know, like, they won't say nothing to me all day, and they'll, like, see either Ill or Animazing kill it, and they'll kind of, like, walk backstage like, oh, y'all got off. Like, you know, especially with, like, when we hit the Android set, you know, up in NorCal, like, everyone was like, oh, you guys killed it. Like, y'all was killing. Or even with the Naruto set with Ill, you know, anytime we go up there, we really give props, but, like, it's just earning them, I guess, because they look at you like, oh, you just think you can come back home whenever you want. That's not how it works. But, yeah.
So, like, talk about your process about, like, you know, creating sets. Like, do you have, like, a certain... Do you, like, visualize it first? Do you, like, pick, like, a little theme first? Or do you choose the music and then just kind of go along?
So, sets, usually, it's, like, it starts off with, like, one song most of the time. I'll hear a song and I'll be like, oh, I want to just kill this. Like, I need to go off. And then I'll choreograph and then decide if I want to give it to Ill or Animazing, because there's very different formulas for both the teams. Because we compete against different people, and there's different ways to go about it, I feel, in the youth division and the adult division. So if I don't have a theme yet, then I'm thinking of, like, okay, like, what kind of theme can I fit this into, or can I just fit a theme around it? I have a book where I actually just, like, every time I think of a theme, I write down, you know, whatever it is. And then if I pick a theme, you know, I try to, like, keep it all on paper, but sometimes, like, I'll just get, like, random moments and I'll just, like, have to pick something up, and I'll even start writing on the wall. Like, I think when I did the Naruto set, like, I was like Naruto, and I just took my whole wall and I was just writing down every detail of what we could do, from storyline to props and everything. And then, so we have the set, then I start piecing together, like, what else we should have in it. I try not to pick other choreographers' songs, but I definitely give them like a range of like, okay, we need this, or you know, if we need something intricate, like, you know, go in that route and whatnot.
So how come you don't try to like pick other choreographers' songs? Like, is there like a thing, like if somebody's doing it first?
Because I feel like it's really like personal. I don't like forcing anything. You know, when I hear a song I want to choreograph to, most of the time it's a song I've heard for the first time, and then I make sure like when I realize I want to choreograph to it, I don't listen to it again until I know I'm going to sit and choreograph to it.
Okay.
So because I feel like when you overhear it too much, that hype for it dies down. You know, like one of my mentors, he told me that what he used to do is he used to just take 4 hours every single night, and he would just listen to random songs. He'd click 15 seconds, 30 seconds. It made him feel a certain type of way. He'd just drag the song into a folder, and then he'd go and back and review all the songs from that time he started to when he was going to start creating a set. And then he would just go off the exact feeling of when you heard it again. And that's the kind of feel you're going to choreograph to. So I feel if I pick someone's songs, I'm like forcing them to kind of fit into this bubble that I've created for myself. Right. But it's not going to look how they want it to look. Yeah. So I think just giving like an overall idea of what we're gunning towards and letting them come up with their music and how they envision it. Because even when you hear a song, like if I hear it, I'm like, okay, I think they can kill it because I hear this sound, this sound, this sound. They may not even hit those sounds when they choreograph to it. Because there's tons of times where I've seen sets and like they're killing a song that I've heard a million times, and I'm like, how have I never heard those sounds in the song before until I just saw them do it on stage? Right. So I think everyone's ear is different.
Yeah, no, it definitely, you can almost see that even with freestyling. Like, simply like someone who's popping isn't going to look the same as someone who's popping in NorCal, you feel me? Like, they have completely different feels, completely different movement, like, you know, it's kind of like their own little ID. So I definitely, now that you put it that way, like how being like choreography being personal, I've never seen it like exactly like that. Like not everybody hits the same beats down.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, for real. The way you put it down like made so much sense. Good shit.
That shit sounds like being high, low key. Yeah. Like finding sounds you've never seen. Like I would have never thought you could find like sounds like that besides just listening. Y'all do that shit through dance, for sure. That's crazy.
I mean, with all the fucking layers and music and shit like that, like everybody picks up something fucking different. Like, somebody who I thought was fucking like hella crazy at it and hella good at it. Shout out to Fernando.
For real. Yes, sir.
He's hella intricate with all his fucking
crazy
shit. You know, he fucking helped me like see what the fuck he was doing, and like having that as an example, like really helps you with like that music, the musicality behind everything and shit. Like, yeah, bro, like if there's hella layers to that shit, and if for some fucking reason there's like a snare that like is here, and if you fucking hear it, and like whether you're freestyling, choreographing, like that shit, you can hit that shit. Like, it don't matter if you're just hearing it. Like, you hear it, and then once you hear it and hit it, other motherfucker hear it. For some fucking reason, that's how it fucking works. You know, my bad to the producers. You know, post the fucking sound on the snare or some shit.
What songs right now would you say like would be something you'd be able to dance to or you'd be hyped for?
Well, I mean, I like everything really. I really like Masego right now.
Oh, shit, groovy as fuck.
I like dancing to his lives specifically because he adds the sounds in as you go. So I'll like choreograph to one sound and then I'll go back to the beginning and I'll choreograph to a different sound. Or I'll only dance and train on one sound and then I'll switch it. Like maybe I'll do waves on this sound or I'll do hits on this next sound or footwork on this sound or just flow between the two. So I like Masego a lot. If I'm trying to go off like crazy, I still rock with Midnight Tyrannosaurus. You know, he's like my favorite dubstep artist for sure. But I mean, anything really. I don't like mainstream stuff because I feel like everyone does it. Like when I go to comps for sets, at least I try to make sure our music isn't going to be heard by nobody else. Like I don't want
you want to be unique.
I don't want no one hitting the same songs. You know, partially because I don't want them to feel bad they didn't hit it as hard as us. But like, you know, also just like we know that they're not gonna. We don't want to judge to be like this song again. Yeah. Like everyone's gonna be hitting like the same popular songs once competitions start again, and I just don't want to be part of that crowd.
Yeah, there's hella times you go to comp and you'll hear what was that one song that was fucking popping for the longest, fucking Bad and Bougie.
Oh yeah, bro.
Hey,
bro. I ain't gonna lie, that shit hits to this day.
See, that song is it. Like it fucking bangs. But when you're at a comp and like you're waiting to get on stage and you're like maybe fourth before the last fucking
Mhm.
performance, you hear that shit like 15 fucking times. Or even more if they try to fucking mix that bitch.
Yeah. You
feel
kind of
me?
like DJ sets. When you go to like
my
different
bad.
sets and you hear like the same hyped ass song.
Yeah.
You're like, but you notice the DJs who are playing unique shit more than like the ones playing the generic shit. So, fuck.
Yeah.
What are you most excited for right now?
I'm really just excited to get back into the teams. You know, like it's been a really, really long break, and we don't really even know what we're gonna end up with as far as like comps this year.
Mhm.
But I mean, just the slow practices we've had so far and the classes we've had have just been bringing a lot of good energy, I guess.
Hell yeah,
And
those
getting
classes
people-
for sure.
Getting people excited. So
If you don't know what the classes are, we'll throw a little clip here if we can. If not, you'll see it around. But it's some weak classes that we have that he's talking about. No insider. But continue. My bad.
And then I guess just planning whatever we're gonna do next. I'm excited for like, you know, I definitely want to start planning sets. Animazing already has to start planning sets. And kind of, you know, sitting back through this quarantine, just thinking of like what else we can do, you know, how we can get Animazing to a higher level, you know, and what we can do with ill, and be smarter and just, you know, pick and choose where we want to compete and be ready, I guess. So I think just the excitement from the process, being able to start over, I guess.
Is there anything new that you're currently working on? Like right now?
Right now, I mean, we're working on like a new like IGTV series with some other crews from SoCal, and then actually from a team from Hawaii as well. I'm not trying to give too many details on it, but you'll see it on Instagram if you follow us on Instagram. I don't know if y'all want to like clip.
Hell yeah, we'll clip that shit right here.
Right here, dog. Right here.
And then, like I said, we're starting to plan sets for Animazing. Started planning sets for ill. Planning a showcase for the first showcase that we're gonna host in the Valley. So the very first show we put on for Animazing, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Just getting back into dance. I'm excited. You know, just working on dance overall.
COVID really did something for everybody, bro. Like that shit is wild. It stopped everything for everybody. Are you guys gonna like hit the ground running as soon as COVID and everything starts opening up, or are you gonna take it slow and kind of roll it out like that?
Animazing, I think we're gonna hit it running. You know, like we're already back in practices, and they start off on a really good note. So I think just focusing on, you know, getting our training grounded and just going, you know, as hard as we can. Ill is gonna be a bit slower. Just because we got to worry about parents, you know, we got to worry about extra precautions, making sure that every parent feels safe in their kid being safe. So it'll be a bit slower getting the ball rolling for ill. But I mean, once we get it rolling and they're good to go, like it's a wrap. Like they'll be set. You know?
Shit.
So
Yeah.
Time's up, right?
Honestly, I think time is up.
This was round 2 for sure.
Yeah. Oh. Before we get into this, Kevin, hit us with the random question of the day.
Random question. Let's go. How would you say? Actually, I can't even think of something.
You can't think of random questions, motherfucker. This was his idea. This was his idea, and he was like, "Nah, all right, random question of the day." Let's see, brain. If you were this is I don't see why the fuck my brain go to this. All right. How do you define a friends with benefits with a girl?
How do you define a friends with benefits
with a girl? Exactly, because that I've seen that around my Twitter being been a trash topic. But I feel like this is a communication thing. What do you think, Carlos?
How do I define a friends with benefits? I mean, if they're equally on page with it, just we're friends, but like we want to get it in. It is what it is. I don't think there's like crazy detail behind it, you know. If we're
It's
cool,
kind of how it sounds, right?
Yeah, like you're a friend and you benefiting each other, you know.
Nah, but see, this where they fuck it up, because dudes be on like, oh yeah, you know, we friends, but like, you know, they try to lean into like that lovey-dovey phase and like snip. You feel me? And then the girl's like, oh, me corazón.
I feel
you feel me? So it's like, do you tell the girl off the bat, or do you ride the wave until there's no more wave to be ridden?
I think that depends on the level of friendship, how much you care about the friendship. Like if you don't care about it too much and you're just like, okay, like I can cut the friendship and I don't really care. She like goes and fucking cries. It is what it is. But if you care about the person genuinely, like as a friend, then, you know, by all means, like let them know, like, you know, I feel like you catching something, but like we agreed it's just friends. So like, let's keep it that way, you know, like, or go watch, like there's like hella movies about it. I think there's one called Friends with Benefits or or like no strings attached. Like watch how they handle.
I like you saw pretzel benefits.
Was that the one with like just Timberlake?
Yeah.
What was her name?
Mila Kunis. Yeah.
No.
I didn't watch that shit because she was
Mila
like,
Oh shit. Well, shit. Yeah, that is another episode on what is in the box. Episode 8. Again, from my room to the valley, and to the valley to the world. We'll catch you
Hey.
next time.